Happy Yorktown Day! Hello everybody, it's October 19th, 2020 here in beautiful York County. Yorktown's right up the road, and it is a little bit sad this year because our annual parade has been canceled, and it's always a nice parade. Usually it doesn't rain this time of year and the leaves are changing. It's really beautiful out there, and so I've been riding my bike quite a bit today, but hopefully we'll have it next year. But I know a lot of you like that Alexander Hamilton musical, and this is a pretty fun question. But Alexander Hamilton actually served under George Washington in Lafayette at Yorktown, and it was at redoubt number 10. There was a redoubt is like a fortified section. There's these big wooden spikes that come up, and there's redoubt number 10 and redoubt number 9. We used to go up there back in the day, just kind of hang out up there. Pretty cool. And he was actually assigned, George Washington assigned him in a battalion under Lafayette. Lafayette is a great famous French general. And so you can imagine these three egos, you know, George Washington, Lafayette, and Hamilton. I mean, all that charisma, all those egos clashing. It must have really been something to be around all that. And then there were some other French leaders and some Germans as well. I mean, it must have been something. You know, but today's trivia question is, George Washington assigned him, but Alexander Hamilton demanded that George Washington remove the guy who was to lead the nighttime bayonet attack and let him, Hamilton wanted to lead the charge himself. That's how bold he was. What did George Washington say in response? Okay. Was it A, George Washington immediately relieved him of duty and made him leave Yorktown? Was it B, Washington did not make him leave Yorktown, but he assigned him to another battalion not under Lafayette's command? Was it C, George Washington gave Alexander Hamilton his very own battalion, but it wasn't to lead the charge? Was it D, George Washington laughed and said, do as you're told? Or was it E, George Washington said, okay, go ahead and lead the charge? Okay, those are your 5 choices. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to pause, and spoiler to give away the answer. Okay, the answer was E. Yeah, yeah, it was E. He actually gave in, and you can imagine George Washington probably didn't, he was a tall, for his time, imposing figure. He wasn't known for giving in easily, and he actually gave in. That just shows you what kind of charisma Alexander Hamilton had to get George Washington and Lafayette to agree to let him lead that charge. So he was he really was an amazing person, and the charge worked, and we know what happened on October 19th, 239 years ago today. The British surrendered, and we have a country. So, well, that's it. I thought it was a pretty interesting trivia question. I don't know if I still haven't seen the musical yet, so I don't know how well that was covered, but that's it, and we'll see you for the next question. Goodbye.